Broker Bulletin acknowledges the traditional custodians of all the lands across the country on which we record our podcast and pays its respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Welcome to the Broker Bulletin podcast, where better begins. Join us as we chat with brokers about what's working for them, what drives them, and the real challenges and wins that matter most right now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Broker Bulletin. Today we're streaming live from the LMG Growth Summit 2026. It's always exciting to be surrounded by brokers who are in growth mode. Today our special guest is exactly that, who is growing, always doing something and in the really excitement mode. Chrissy Dunkerton is the brains trust behind Loan Market Chrissy Dunkerton, based down in the Busselton area of WA Southwest and also her hometown of Northern, where she has another office. Thanks very much for sharing what will be, no doubt, your years of wisdom in business today, Chrissy. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Simon, for having me. And hopefully there's one or two nuggets within there that are useful to people. I've never done anything like this before, but happy to lean in and, see what we can come up with.
I think brokers like you, underestimate their achievements and what they've done as well, Chrissy. So as an outsider looking in and knowing a bit about your business, there's lots of gold nuggets that you probably don't realise are gold nuggets, but hopefully we'll extract a bit of them today. But definitely plenty of gold nuggets in your business, and I'm excited to talk about a few of those things today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you maybe take us back to the start of when you started the business and what drove you, what motivated you to build the brand that is now today, Loan Market Chrissy Dunkerton?
Certainly. So this one was actually pretty easy for me to answer. The others I've made some little dot points so that I stayed on track and spoke about what I wanted to. I was working in education and training and I was made redundant. I'd always had a bit of a interest in housing and buying up like dumps and buying them and doing them up and things like that. So I was always interested in property. My dad's an accountant, so I have a love for money. So then I had been chatting to my broker who said to me off the cuff, "You'd be great at this, and if you ever want an opportunity, I'd love for you to reach out." Got made redundant and at the time wanted to go into something that was really flexible. I've got quite a number of children, one of which at the time was very unwell. So I couldn't go back into a PAYG role where I had to have lots of time off. He had a really rare form of leukemia. That resulted in us having to spend lots of time at hospital and travelling backwards and forwards. So I thought I couldn't go into working for someone else and say, "Can I have a day off? Can I have this? And can I have that?" And it was like, the worst time of my life, but out of that. So we retrained. Then I got into broking. And so I'm very, very grateful to my mentor, Leanne Clune. I don't know if she's still in the industry or not. I think she is. Very grateful for the opportunity that she gave me. What started as a very humble beginning, just working out of my home office with, I've got photos of the kids asleep under heaters and blankets under my desk and clients coming to the house and things like that, to where we are now. So it started off as a bit of something I fell into because of an off-the-cuff comment from Leanne and needing to have that flexibility. And from there, it's now grown into what it is today. And I still don't really know. Like sometimes I go, how did this happen? Like, how did we go from there to there to there to there? And it's just natural progression and growth. It's not something I've chased. It's not something I've actively been trying to build. I don't even have a business plan, to my father's horror. He says, "What's your business plan?" And I said, "Do what I do better than the next person." I don't know.
Right.
And I think because of that, there's just so many levels of pressure in all avenues of business and life that by having another business plan goal on top of that, some people thrive on that, whereas others like myself go, "Oh, I didn't quite get that," or "I didn't quite." And as soon as I remove KPIs and things like that, we flourish because we're just naturally and authentically doing our thing. But when we chase something, it takes away, you lose the focus on what is really the important thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of business owners that I've worked with over the years, they get maybe a bit tied up and they're like, "I must have a plan, I must do this, I must 100%. Be strategic." But listening to Luke's talk earlier in today, from his safety culture, he was good at solving problems. You're really good at looking after clients, doing the right thing. You've got your love of numbers. You had a necessity of being able to have something flexible to look after the family. But I think from what you're saying is wanting to look after the clients, do the right thing, having an interest in loving numbers and properties and developing things, that would then, clients would be attracted to you. So that genuineness that you have, that is
And I think just pivoting as well, like the industry, I've only been in it for 11 years, but we've had best interest duty, Royal Commission, changes from Symmetry to My CRM. Now we've got the AI revolution that's coming through, and it's being able to pivot and adopt, and definitely not a front runner, but I'm not adverse to it either.
The growth that you've had, it hasn't been planned as such, but it's just one thing's taken over the other. Would you call yourself an entrepreneur, or would you just call yourself someone who loves what you're doing and likes helping clients?
Yeah, I would say the latter. Definitely not an entrepreneur. I don't think that I've actively gone out to seek any of it. I've never run a seek ad. All my girls within the team, and we just happen to be female. It's not something that even that I have, tried to be exclusive on. We just happen to be. Everyone has been sort of handpicked, or I've had a relationship with them prior to. I know that the personalities go well, the work ethic's already there. You're only as good as the team you can build around yourself, and I'm so very grateful for my girls.
Yeah. Well, and I think your socials that you do, that's premeditated, because that's your bringing out quirky Chrissy.
Yes.
And putting that out because that's how you want to be seen to your clients. Well, that's
finance
new.
is also not a little bit boring, but we've all got the same products and we've all got the same lenders. It's how we work with them, our personalities that set us different, and people still crave human connection and real interactions. I love building relationships. I don't know, the girls say you talk to a wall if it stands still long enough. I always talk to people. I love hearing their story and what do you do and how do you do that, and learning new things from just general conversation. And the ability to have a discussion with someone is an art that can be missed. For example, my son, one of them, is very good and he only asks open questions. My other one is more clipped, and I'm trying to say to him, yes, no's, that doesn't work. You need to expand so that people can engage in a conversation.
When you went out on your own, how important was community? And also, from a mentor perspective, you talked about the mentor that you had. From what I see, I think a lot of new brokers, that's the make and break. I've seen some people who I think can be awesome brokers, but they don't align themselves to the right mentor. Mm-hmm. So can you maybe tell me about your involvement with community and how important the mentor was in shaping you to become the broker you were going to be?
For sure. So I think there was when I was looking and thinking about this, there was sort of three main aspects to the community. So we've got obviously my friends and my family community that were like, you've got this is straight up your alley, you'd be a natural at this. And then I had my community, as in I started in Northam, very loyal, fully backed me and still wonderful referral source for me. And then I had my Loan Market community, and that was, the likes of the Bows, the Richos, other loan market businesses, Mike and Belle, Ali Irwin. We call them the OGs, the original loan market, so that I could ring them if I was having...
lean on each other.
Yeah, 100%. And, I really look up and aspire to those business owners. And that they're so receptive. I give them a call and they're like, what do you need? We've got that, or we've done this before and this is how we did it. And, just to be able to soundboard off people that are in the industry that are so willing to share their knowledge, because I can talk to my husband, but he doesn't quite understand, but to have people that have done it and that do it very well, and that I kind of, hold not on a pedestal, but I really look up to them, and having them on speed dial whenever I need them is very reassuring. So I love my Loan Market family because of those reasons. I really feel like we've got each other's back. But yeah, my community was, like I said, within my family and my friends, they were super supportive. And then, like I said, my Northern referral group, like everyone back there was just embraced me, sent me work, referred their cousins, brothers, sisters. And, that still today is the primary source of my business.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. And look, as the BSM working with all the loan market business, I do love how the OGs, if you like, but also the expanded group, everyone's always got time for everybody else. And you have the functions that we have. People ask questions and come up challenges, and everyone jumps in. There's not just one
problem
person,
solving, like
but others will help out with what's going on. So I love coming in and seeing how close everyone is, but also just I guess that energy and the synergy that works there as well.
And on that as well, like between yourself and Shelley, Renee prior to that, the support we have from head office. I saw Susie yesterday. She came give me a big hug and a kiss, and Sam, when I see him, you think, how many brokers must he have to remember? He's like, hey, there's Chrissy. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's like we're a family. Yeah, it's great.
That's the little things, I think, isn't it?
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. Chrissy, can you maybe talk to us about what was your biggest shock in that first 12 to 18 months? And you talked before about having the right people and the team that you've grown. What did that look like? And was that part of the shock to the system, or was that part of the learning process of getting the right people or the right team around you?
So I was actually just a sole operator for my first 6 or 7 years. So I'm quite...
So all trades doing...
Yeah, that's one of wearing all the hats, the marketing, the bookkeeping, the, referral connections. And I found from that it's good and bad, because I then have a very good understanding of how I want things to run. But it's also bad now that the girls say that I have got a little bit of OCD and my finger in everything, and that's not your job, and step back a bit, which is great. But yeah, I found that the amount of hustle initially, I was lucky because Northern wasn't saturated with brokers, but as a new broker coming in now, you've got a lot of competitors. So it's about getting out there, face to a name, meeting people. Like I said before, we've all got the same products, lenders. It's just how we present them, how we present ourselves, and how we make connections with it, whether it's a referral partner as an accountant or a real estate agent, or whether it's at the local footy club on a Sunday afternoon. They're going to be my next referral source because I've met someone there. So I think that the amount of hustle was not surprising. I knew I was going to have to work hard for it, but it's consuming a little bit. Like when you first start and you're thinking, where's the next coming from? And then the buzz of it. Yeah, I still get a buzz when I get a settlement. Or
so it's the chase and then getting the win.
No, the win, that's better. No, but do you know what I mean? I still was really surprised about the buzz that I got out of getting an approval, and I still get a buzz out.
I was going to say, do you still
yes, I do.
Get that?
Yeah. Everyone's they're equally as important. And like, yes, wonderful, done my job, changed that person's, life in a really positive way. And some of them aren't changing lives. Some of them are just, helping with the debt console, and that might free up a bit of cash. But it's always a really positive.
That's still a massive change to their lives. I mean, to save someone $1,000, $2,000 a month for debt consolidation, that's, again, you might not think it, but putting yourself in the client's shoes, that can potentially be life-saving, even if it's that short period of time where they're just struggling to get their head above water. And especially at the moment with everything going gangbusters and probably fuel prices going up, there's going to be a lot of pain out there. So that ability to help clients, I think, you can never underestimate that.
No, totally agree. That was all of the hats, and then just the buzz of it all, and also just you have to be on your hustle game. You have to be out of your comfort zone. You have to lean into things that like I put my hand up to be the treasurer of our local women in business group, not because I had the time to do it, because I knew that it was a good thing to do for the business, as then people could see my ability to run books and shift the paper and whatever, and then they get a taste of what she's really good at this. She must be awesome at her job. Yeah. And then from there, that built and grew out as well. So I think it's also putting yourselves in positions so that people can experience what your skill set is.
And I guess talking about putting yourself out of your comfort zone and leaning into it, a bit like, interviewing today for, Broker Bulletin.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
So looking back, what were the things that really set you up for the business to be able to take it forward to what it is today?
I think, hands down, it's customer service. It's about being there for your client, initially, probably whenever they needed me, which might have been a little bit too much at the start. But again, when you're starting out, you've got that hustle.
Yeah.
But I think it's the customer service, and then building the templates and the workflows and things like that, so that everything, no matter who's working on a file, they all get the same customer experience.
Yes.
Because I think that, the note taking and everything that's in the system, then if something happens and someone else could potentially step in and run that file and things like that. So it's continuity, same experience across the board, and customer service. People want it just, to be listened to be heard, to go, righto, this is the problem, this is a solution, and then we can put our heads together and work on that. There's a real person at the end of every transaction, and that's the most important thing to remember.
You talk about processes and workflows.
Yes.
Did you have them when you were a single operator as well? Or was that only been...
No, I actually brought in a third-party independent to build out our workflows and our automations and our templating. And it still requires some tweaking, but it was a really good baseline. Yes. And then from there we can add to it, because, everyone does it a little bit differently, and all the girls within the team have wonderful ideas on where we could, do things better and interject and things like that. Do they help
shape what they look like going forward? Or?
Yeah, so initially we just imported the workflows, and then we've actually got a meeting coming up where we're now going to start tweaking them and saying, oh, hang on, change that to this and change that to that and whatever. And absolutely, because it's as much for their own business growth as well. that we get that on board. And so I'm all ears for their opinions on things.
Well, I think quite often as well, the business owner is so busy doing what they do, the team generally have the answers.
Yes.
The business owner likes to make the changes, but without consulting or empowering your team to have a voice, then they're the ones that generally have the answers, I find, that they can help. So I think that's a massive thing. And to continue to tweak them as you go as well.
Absolutely. It's not rigid. It's, and as we evolve and processes might change and templates and things have to change as well. But just trying to streamline and save time in that regard.
So as you've grown, what shifted from being the broker to the business owner?
So because this has happened really organically, it is actually an area that I feel my skill set needs some uplift on. It's not something that I am across and I still am learning all the time. And this is where I would reach back to my colleagues with other loan market businesses and say, hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? What do you think about this? Just to soundboard off them is something that if I was to sit down and write out something that I feel I'm not lacking or something that I feel I could potentially invest some time and effort and energy to do better, it certainly would be to manage, to be a leader. I mean, I do feel I am a leader in regards to speaking up for myself and my industry. You see, I reach out to our industry bodies when I think that something needs to be brought to their attention that they could advocate for us
just recently.
Yes.
Perfect example.
But I also, within my own team, to make sure that their expectations and their needs are also met. And I'd like to think that anyone can approach me with anything that they've got on their mind, and I'm open to discussions about that. But I think that it is something that I could improve upon potentially, because I'm not across it all and I'm certainly learning as I go in that regard. I don't read any books or anything like that. I potentially could look to do stuff like that, but at the end of the day, after writing loans all day and looking after the kids and everything else, I'm spent, I'm done. I just want to Netflix and zone.
Understandable.
And it's not something, I'd never had a business plan. I never thought I'd have a team like I do working around me. So it's not something that I've actually invested the time in yet, but it's on my radar. It's something that I want to do.
Yeah. And look, I know
to be better. I want to be better.
Well, how can I be better tomorrow than I was today?
Correct. And I don't know what I don't know.
And look, I know we've got you on our Elevate program in July.
Yes,
and that'll
really
be that
forward to
6-month program. So I think a lot of the things that you spoke about there, because each month has a different topic and it's designed around how to be a better a leader, how to then grow the business and what are the tools around that.
And that's why I've sort of been, really looking forward to that. At first I was a little bit hesitant just because of the travel component to get to and from Perth. And I know that it's, and whatever, but I've now gotten to the point where life has settled down a little bit for me in that regard. That last year wasn't, very good. And so now this year we're ready to roll on. And I'm, really keen to get stuck into that.
And you talk about the broker community. So obviously you've got your loan market colleagues that you deal with. So with the Elevate, as we have each group, we do ongoing work with that group. So we get the group together. So it's networking because all those businesses are in growth mode and then going through that growth stages. You're getting to talk to your peers about what have you done, what went wrong, hey, I did this thing, this is a roadblock, how do I overcome it? So you'll have another group or community that you'll be able to bounce off and ask questions.
And look, I really feel that networking and things like that, and just, I've organised before in the past, like drinks down in Busselton, where I've invited all the brokers from all the other aggregators that are down there just for a Friday night drink, just to debrief and say, oh, how are you all going? Like, well, the market's crazy. How's everyone coping? Round table, what was the craziest thing that happened this week in Lenderland or whatever? Just because I think, like I said, community and connection are really important.
Yeah. And I think with the Growth Summit, that's all the brokers that I've spoke to over the years from attending these type of events, the networking piece is one of the larger pieces, talking not just the brokers from your own state, but other brokers and just knowledge, understanding, asking questions.
Yeah, 100%.
For 2026 and beyond, what sort of things are non-negotiable to you in growing a brokerage?
It's building the referral partner network. I think that we do need to increase that. We're very well supported already, but I think that just getting out there and getting in front of people and saying, hey, this is where we are, this is what we do, we've got the team to support your needs, come in and use us. AI is massive. I'm not going to lie, I'm not very tech savvy, so it does scare me a little bit, but I can also see already the benefits that it brings to the industry. I don't think that it's actually going to kill brokers, because people thrive on human connection. That's what we still want, even though if we don't know that that's what we want, that's what we still do want. And so I just think it's about the delivery and incorporating those additional tools with what we already have to get that uplift. And because of that uplift, I think there's going to be more scope for more work. So if we lift the funnel, open the doors, and then we get more things into the channels, to around we go.
100%.
And like I said, those workflows and templatings and stuff like that. I was told my team might be one of the biggest adopters of the MyCRM AI note writing and stuff.
You are. You're in our, I think it's our top 3 in WA as far as adopting it and using it. So that's
Awesome.
great. You've jumped in, and you've got to start somewhere, and even if it's starting small, just to get.
And it's about embracing the tools that you guys are spending so much time and effort and energy, creating. And I'm like, well, let's get in there and use them. And so far, they've been wonderful. And if anyone isn't using them, I'd certainly suggest you have a go. And it's not something that, obviously we still have to check everything and tweak it to how we want it to be, but it's just pulling through some really good baseline stuff that we can start and elaborate on. So anything that saves us time while still keeping us safe and compliant is, I'm all down for that. That's awesome.
And if you think about over the last 5 years, compliance is growing. Yeah. So you think about how much, if there's 10 hours that goes into a deal, probably the largest chunk of that is the work around compliance.
Yeah.
So if we can reduce that for you, that means you can spend more time with the client,
with the customer,
which is back to your points earlier. It's that client engagement, 100%. Spending more time. But also, if we use the tech tools, one of the things that Luke, I think, talked about earlier today in one of his sessions was you've got to make it easy for the clients.
Yeah.
The clients want seamless, quick tracking. Yeah. So it's about, leverage those tools that are there. How do you make it easy, not just for yourselves and your team, but your clients?
Client expectations as well, So we set those expectations and say, look, if we're going to a lender, the SLA is a little bit longer because of X, Y, Z, it's a complex or it's a niche or it's a whatever. Yeah. Explaining that to them and saying, look, it's not all instant gratification. Yeah, sometimes you've just got to lay out to the client, this is how it's going to roll and this is why we're doing it and this is the timeline that I've got. And obviously you build a buffer into that so that you still smash them out of the park and they, think you've done a great job, which we do, using all the various platforms and tools, but also then the client relationship and setting realistic expectations so that, everyone's happy and confident about the process. You've got to be confident.
You do.
Yeah.
No, perfect. Love it, Chrissy. Where are you investing to stay ahead? You mentioned about AI and your systems and processes. Is that the key area? Is it people? Is it expanding more in your Busselton and your northern, footprints out there?
We've also got Pete in Perth as well.
Of course, yes.
Pete, she's awesome.
Doing a great job up here.
Yeah, she is. I think it's the people, to be honest. I think that the AI will naturally come into our systems and also the other various platforms like our Broker Bible. We use that for all our policies. So Kath's done a great job building that out. And we went on the trial and obviously now you need to pay for your subscription, but we certainly see the value in that. There. Yeah, 100%. And then you quickly for all of your servicing and things like that, the tools that we can add on and bolt on to what we've got to streamline it and, then obviously the AI notes and rationales and things like that we can get from yourselves. But at the end of the day, I think that building relationships, referral partners, I've also done some diversification within what we look to do and what we deliver. We've gone into self-managed super fund lending. I've teamed up with an accountant and a financial planner and we've run a seminar, so it's leaning on other professionals of their own industry so that, we can remain compliant but also deliver quality sessions for people to come along to. So that was good. We're also moving into some other spaces that we haven't traditionally been in. I think the vanilla PAYG, they're so few and far between now. Some alt doc lending. And then we've got all the various schemes, your first home owners grant, your home, help to buy. We're always learning and developing our own knowledge of what's coming out and how we can position clients to make the best use of those things. So always learning, but at the end of the day, I'm very much people focused. I think that that's what sets my organisation and my team apart from the rest is that they're all wonderful people. They love helping, they love talking. I think that a bit of social media spritz through that as well. Outsource what I'm not very good at, which to someone who is very good at it. So it just gives us a footprint in that regard as well. So I don't see us doing anything massively differently. me, I think, like I said, I'm really looking forward to going to the Elevate program to pick up areas of expertise that I'm not across and that I feel I could be better in saying that, because I've never run a CCAT. I've never actively tried to build it. It's all been organic. So then, and also I'm really conservative that I've never taken on a staff member until I felt that my trail was at a place that could support it if it, and so that growth has happened over a longer period of time than others that just buy a book and jump in and make it happen. But for me, I've always wanted it to be like that so I can sleep well at night. If the phone doesn't ring, I'm not like, oh, where's it coming from next? Because I feel that the client feels that too. Yeah. So I just really wanted it to be slow, steady, wins the race. It's been it's probably taken me longer to get to where I could have been otherwise, but it's been what I've felt comfortable with. And at the end of the day, that's what's important to me.
Every broker's journey is their own journey. Yeah. I don't think brokers should measure themselves against others. Correct. Because everyone has different needs, requirements, personal lives, everything that goes with it. My little takeaway there, you talked, that what the next thing is and the people, it ties back in to everything you've already spoke about is the client experience. And you talked about, everyone, all the brokers have access to all the same lenders and we the same tech pretty much, but the difference maker is the focusing on the client. And it's interesting when you talk about what's your investment. Yeah, you're going to play in AI and systems and processes, but it's the people, because people get on with people. That's who they want to deal with, and your clients want to deal with people who they know are genuinely looking after their best interests.
100%.
At the end of the day.
Yep, legislated to do it and want to do it too.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, cool.
Chrissy, thanks so much for your time today. Lots of little gold nuggets that have come out of it that I'm already thinking about, and hopefully the listeners will have there as well. But obviously on Broker Bulletin, one of the things we always strive for is, what's that 1% difference that everyone does that comes to these things? You talk about all the things that every broker has. What's that little 1% difference? What's your 1% and what's the thing that sets you apart?
There's probably two things, and that is that I love taking my little toy poodle for a walk on the beach every morning. I clear my head. I think, what have I got on today? How's it all going to happen? And make sure that the day is sort of planned out and everything's sorted in that regard. And then also I have an empty inbox. Everything has a home, everything gets filed. If it's too busy, then I feel like I'm spiraling and whatnot. So I've got a pending inbox, and anything that I don't get to that hangs over to the next day gets chucked into there. I know it's only out of sight, out of mind, but in my mind, I'm starting then with a clean slate. Yep. First thing in the morning, we go through the pending. That has to get cleared, and then we roll over onto what have we actually got on to get through today.
Clear head, good energy from walking the dog on the beach.
Saying hello to all Bella and Ollie. And I don't know the owners' names, but I know all the dogs' names. Yeah, and it's just a really lovely start to the day. It's a nice defrag, get in the right headspace, and then let's get out there and get it done.
The ocean air, the salt.
Yeah, sometimes see a dolphin.
Do you know the dolphin's name? The dolphin has a name?
Clifford, I don't know. No, but for me, it's just it sets me up for a good day. Just something that I like to do to defrag it and get it all in order. And then, like I said, that clear inbox, like I think, clear box, clear mind, ready to tackle whatever comes our way for the day.
Love it. But that's the thing, isn't it? If you're not in the right headspace, if you aren't energized, that energy or lack of it transpires to the office and the people around you. And
I get a bit, I can sometimes feel a bit manic. I can feel like I've got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. And the girls are like, whoa, calm down. What are you doing? Yeah, breathe. We got this. And so when I come in, I'm like, right, it's all cool. They're like, okay, let's go to work. So yeah, it's highly recommend just, and it's only half an hour. It should be longer, but I don't have longer to do it. So I just do it for however long I can.
Half an hour a day is all you need.
Yeah.
Chrissy, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having
just
me.
Being open with us about telling us about how you built your business, your career, the personal life, the recharging, and what's important to you. It means a lot for us to share that with us, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and hopefully it was what you guys are chasing, because I've never done anything like this before, and hopefully you're all in your own journey and run your own race. Don't compare yourself to the person next to you, because no two apples are the same, and you might look like the duck is going along like this, and underneath they're going flat out to make it happen. And just be authentic to yourself.
Do your journey.
Do you. Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Cheers.
My biggest takeaway from today's conversation with Chrissy was not losing sight of the focus, and Chrissy's focus, which is a good client experience, engaging with the clients. She understands AI and systems and processes and workflows, but really is investing in her people love dealing with people. AI is just a tool to allow brokers to be better at client facing. So listen, thanks so much for listening. If you have a topic that you'd like us to discuss, please email us at brokerbulletin@lmg.broker or DM us on Instagram at lmgbro.broker, and our producer will make sure we answer it ASAP. If you liked this episode, please make sure you rate and follow us in your favourite pod store. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to Broker Bulletin. We would hate for you to miss an episode. Subscribe to Broker Bulletin in your favourite podcast app. Has this episode been helpful? We'd love you to rate and review us. It'll help us deliver content that's useful to you and help others discover us. If you have great ideas for topics worth tackling or have burning questions you'd like addressed on an upcoming episode, reach out. Links in the show notes. See you next time.